All right, this is my daily update for January 5th, 2025. Um, I managed to get some work done. Random story of the day. Uh, I went to this state park that's like a Wild West theme little historical site here in California. My random story for today. I have been to the, oh, my keyboard just died. I have been to the like ultimate Wild West town before. It is called Bodie, California. It's in the middle of the Sierra Nevada. It is fantastic. Um, I have a great picture of that. It is way in the middle of nowhere, but it is very, very worth a trip. So when I went there, I took my ex-girlfriend, who I was dating in Mexico City. So we came up to California, went on this big road trip, and we went here, and she was so bored. She was bored to death. And I think this place is awesome. It's like a actual, so it's probably the best, one of the very, very best preserved and like complete Wild West, old boom town, Wild West towns. It's one of the very best ones in the world. And she was so bored. She was so like not just kind of miserable to be there. And I shit you not, this is when I knew this was not the woman for me. And it didn't work out. And I really, in that moment, when I saw how she acted here on this road trip, probably not the one for me. So, let me just show you where it's at. If you're ever in this part of the world, go there. It's so worth it. You can't go in winter. It's very cold, snows a lot. It's right next to Nevada, very close to Mono Lake. So this is Lake Tahoe. This is Yosemite. So you got to cross Yosemite, and it's over here. I've been working on this LLM router slash agent router. So when you send an email to here, when you send an email to the assistant, I'm going to call it the AI assistant because it's going to be rebranded as that shortly. So when you send an email, it looks at your request and figures out, okay, like where should this request get routed? It doesn't immediately respond. First it thinks about it and it looks at your request, analyzes it, and goes, okay, what do they want? Do I need to route this to an agent? Do I need to route this to a different LLM? Is it just a request just to route to ChatGPT, for example? I made really good progress on that, but one thing that I'm testing out is I'm testing out the real-time data routing. So, when you ask, I'm sure you've experienced this, you ask ChatGPT something about a recent event, and it has no idea. It's like, well, my cutoff data is like, I don't know, March 2024. Pretty useless. So it's just so it doesn't search and find updated information unless you're using like actually in the chat. The API doesn't do that. So if I route your request to ChatGPT, it doesn't have that real-time search just yet. And so I was testing out. So I tested out Grok. First, I tested out Grok because when I go here, so I asked it, what's going on with the monkey found in the Rolls Royce? That happened like really close to here. There was this crazy story where, as you can see, they pulled over a Rolls Royce, some rich guy in a Rolls Royce, and there was a monkey in the car. And they were like, hey, that monkey, like, what are you doing? You're drunk. Why do you have a monkey in your car? Why does that monkey not look good? Bizarre story. So if you were to like send an email for something like really real time like this, it just fails. It doesn't work. I don't know why their API doesn't support search yet. I think it will. Uh, Grok is fantastic because it looks at websites, looks at tweets, and it figures it out. And I love the answer. I love the response that it gives you. So I tried out Grok quite a bit. And let me tell you, the API sucks. The API really sucks. It's the documentation is a lot less than OpenAI's. Um, it doesn't give you this at all. The results are compared to the the GUI and X. It just sucks. Um, I was really disappointed actually with their API. So okay, gave up on Grok. So I gave up on Grok, and then I tried Perplexity. Oh my god, that's killing me. My keyboard not working. So I tried Perplexity. They have an API, and they do recent. That actually searches the internet and finds you relevant stuff, and that was better. It wasn't quite what I want just yet, so I think I need to play around with the prompt more. I don't know. I still need to figure out how to use this API, but I found this to be good enough for now. So I think for the real time stuff, I'll use this, unless OpenAI you know beats them to the punch and fixes their or Grok really. Unless they if they fix the API and make it match this, then it's great. I'll totally use that. But I don't understand why this is so different than what you get from the API. I don't know. Anyways, and the other thing I was looking at routing to Grok was I hate that ChatGPT. A lot of the LLMs, they treat you like you're a 5-year-old. You ask a spicy question, quote unquote spicy, or controversial question, and it just treats you, oh, I can't answer that. Oh, I refuse to answer that. It treats you like a child. And I don't want that. I want you to be able to use this service. Like, think of, okay, look, let's say you have a VA. You're paying an actual real assistant to like do things for you. You can send that assistant some kind of controversial question. I mean, obviously, yeah, obviously you need to be careful. You can't ask something really totally insane. Um, but you can ask them a spicy, controversial question, and they're not going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that for you." Like that's against my terms. Like, no, they're going to go look up and give you an answer to whatever you're asking for. So I want this to act exactly like a real person. And a real person's not going to treat you like a 5-year-old and say, I'm sorry, I cannot answer that question. I want it to route this and really find you the answer to whatever damn thing you're asking for. And it's even more important because there's a lot of things you clearly wouldn't ask a real human. You would be too embarrassed. So you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to ask somebody, hey, like, find me the best, medication for hemorrhoids or something bizarre like this. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's privacy. Um, but like the ML, there's so many things you can Google, and Google's fine giving you tons of results for whatever the hell you're searching for, no matter how controversial. But why want the LLM? So I get really upset by that, and I tried Grok because, according to Elon Musk, Grok will not have the guardrails on, and it will just respond, and it will respond in a way other LLMs won't. Yeah, that's bullshit. I tried it out, and API in here, it says the same thing that ChatGPT for a lot of stuff. So I was pretty disappointed with that. I tried out, so there were models llama models or like Mistral models that people hacked to death and repackaged. Uh, really managed to remove the guardrails. I mean, really remove the guardrails. So I tried out some of those models. No, a lot of stuff. It's spicier, but it doesn't answer a lot of stuff like I want it to. And the reason why is because where those models are being hosted, they add the guardrails back. So, I don't know. I find it frustrating. I just want to like actually be able to ask adult questions, like any damn question you want, and have it respond. Maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I'm being reckless, wanting that for my service. But I just it boggles my mind that you can Google anything and it will give you a result, but you can't ask an LLM. I don't. To me, that is just the stupidest thing. Whatever the hell you could Google and it gives you results for, you should be able to do the same with an LLM. So that's my stance, and I'm trying to get it to match that and route to wherever it needs to route to get your damn answer, because I want this thing to actually be useful. And I don't know. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Do you think those guardrails are there for good reason? I don't know. So one thing I think I could do next, which I probably won't for now, but if you host these models yourself, then you could route to them. Obviously, you have the model running on your own machine. I don't want to do that. That's very expensive and not worth it. So I'll play around with this a bit more. But so far, I'm disappointed with Grok. Really, like just straight up. Um, for many things, 4.0, ChatGPT 4.0 is better. It really is. And now with this real time searching, um, I don't know. The cool thing though about Grok is that it looks at recent tweets. That is very powerful. That's very cool. So, anyways, I'm gonna keep playing around with the routing, but honestly, going to Perplexity for real-time stuff seemed to work really nicely, and I got pretty okayish responses. It's much better than the responses this thing was giving before, just routing to ChatGPT and just saying, I don't know what the hell that is, or tells you some weird thing that happened 2 years ago. So, making good progress. I have a bunch of tests written, so I could clearly see, like, when I change the prompt, oh crap, like, look at now, it's acting different. So, good progress. I am not going to get much done today, and I'll be back on this, like, with a lot more productivity in a couple more days. So, almost there. Um, yeah. Anyways, interesting stuff playing around more deeply with the routing. Oh, and one last thing. I found Open Router to be really useful. At first, I started like, okay, here's credit for Grok. Okay, here's credit for Perplexity. Here's credit to try this. Now, Open Router kicked ass. That was the way to go. Just pay Open Router, and you can route your requests to so many models. I found I that's a plus. That's a thumbs up for me. Open Router. That's cool. I might actually just roll with Open Router, to be honest, and let it fall back to, let's say ChatGPT has let's say they're down, just no problem, routes it somewhere else. So, um, yeah, that was interesting to play around with that too. So, anyways, that's all I got. Yeah, go visit the West if you've never been, especially like the ghost towns. There's some really cool ones here in California.